Good day all and welcome to a windy South African lawn. Alright, welcome to today's video, and in today's video I would like to apologize beforehand because it's a very windy day. You will probably hear a lot of wind noise, so please excuse that. I'll try and see if I can edit most of that out. In any case, let's get to today's video, and today I want to talk about the August and September weather on the Highveld, and I suppose also in the Free State, but not the Cape Okies, because you've got flipped weather. Okay, so it's a little bit different for you guys, but I want to talk about the different season that we're transitioning into now, winter into spring, and also what it holds in for us, and also what you can expect looking at the charts of the previous year's weather, rainfall, all those type of things, and also maybe a little bit of a plan of attack as to what you can do with your lawn during springtime. And so, well, at least my opinion on that. So I hope you enjoy the video, so stick around. Not a lot of information, but a lekker video for you guys. Okay? Alright, welcome. Right, so let's talk a little bit of weather for a second, especially Joburg, Pretoria, Highveld area, and also the other parts of the country that share more or less the same weather patterns as Joburg, you know. So that's why I don't want to exclude Cape Town, but you guys come out of a rainy season, whereas we haven't had rain for the past, I don't know how many months and whatever. And also looking at the past weather patterns of the last 2-3 years, it's not really in the forecast for Joburg to get rain before what I've said in the previous video, Paul Kruger Day, the 10th of October. Starting from that period of time we can expect rain, you know. So in general, the spring, or the start of spring at least in Johannesburg or the Highveld area, is quite warm, very warm actually, looking at the past, and dry and low humidity, which dries out things quite quickly. And that brings us to today's video, which I'll explain to you in a second. So I've brought you to my Kentucky Bluegrass lawn, and why I've brought you here is because Kentucky Bluegrass, or this lawn, compared to my Kikuyu, is such a responsive grass type. You know, when it's hungry it goes yellow and it says, please feed me, please feed me. When it's dry it goes flipping, water me, water me. Whereas Kikuyu is a more chilled out grass type, just sitting there. You haven't watered me for 4 years, but I'll be fine, I'm just waiting for the rain, those type of things, guys. So Kikuyu is way more chilled out and doesn't respond as quick as Kentucky Bluegrass, and that's why I've brought you to the Kentucky Bluegrass, to show you that on Saturday we had cold weather, Sunday we had fair weather, Monday we had warm weather, and already I'm seeing some dry spots on my lawn. Okay, and why you want to maybe take note of this, even if you have Kikuyu grass, because Kikuyu grass is like way tougher in my opinion than Kentucky Bluegrass, is because the same thing happens below the soil regardless of the grass type. You just don't see it as easily on Kikuyu grass. And what I'm talking about, what I mean by the weather, is that these are ideal or prime conditions to turn your soil hydrophobic. Hydrophobic means, we've talked about this before, hydrophobic means that your soil creates like a kind of a waxy layer and then repels water. So when you put water on there, the water just sits on there and then runs away, because the soil can't actually absorb that water. So even when you're irrigating, it's going to struggle to take that water up. And that brings us to the video today, wetting agents, and how wetting agents can really change the season around for you. This hot, dry spell can really take some of the stress off. I'm not saying you're not going to irrigate, but take some of the stress off the irrigation and at least make it a little bit easier for your soil to retain the moisture, ready for the grass to take up. And you want to get a head start on things before the rain season starts, and then your neighbors can peek over the wall and they're going to say, goodness, look at that nice grass. Lovey, where's our green grass? Why is mine brown and his green? That type of thing. Okay, so there's the dried out area, and I really wish that I showed you this area like a little bit earlier. Like Tuesday it was the worst. After 2 hot and dry windy days, it already showed some like drought and heat stress, but you can still clearly see what's going on there. It's already recovering right now. And the product that I'm talking about once again is wetting agents. Okay, so I'm going to bring up this product once again because I always want to buy as like a specific product, but I end up buying this Orovital because it's got everything in, and also it has got wetting agents in there. I don't know if you can see that. So actually 250 grams per kilogram, so 25% of everything that's in this bottle, which is now empty but I've got plenty more, contains wetting agent, which is brilliant. And the wetting agent, I saw it earlier, is derived from alcohol ethoxylate. My word, I could have actually, through that restriction period of Ramaphosa, I could have actually maybe drank this. This would have cost me a lot cheaper than that 750 rand brandy bottles that we all paid for. Not that I drink brandy, but I paid like 500 rand for beer. Now that was a pity. I could have really maybe just take a couple of sips here. Any case, so yeah, this should take the stress off that part, because that might be hydrophobic. Not really, just improve the water retention. However, so hydrophobic soil once again is where your lawn struggles, or your soil struggles to take up the water, and then it retains the water in there a little bit better. And that's the whole purpose behind this thing, is to try and retain a little bit better moisture and keep the moisture locked in there. Okay, so with all soil amendment products, you need to put this in a backpack sprayer, spray it on your lawn, and then water it in to actually get the product that amends the soil into the soil. Unless you want it to stick to the leaf blade, then it's a foliar application, but we got a soil amendment product here. So I've made about 100 milliliters of this product of mine in 2.5 liters of water right here, and I've built this fantastic thing to get my product out with ample quantities of water. Let me show you what this thing looks like. I think it's absolute sheer brilliance. I've built it myself. It's a Venturi siphon. Okay, so I've got my mixture of whatever chemical you want to spray out right here. In my case now, wetting agents. It's got humic acid and whatever, but we're going to focus on the wetting agent today. And then I've got this pipe feeding in here, and then I'm going to close this cap like that, so it can't go anywhere. Lacquer all safe and secure. And then I've got this thing hooked to my hose pipe, which I've done myself. I just looked at a sample of my other hose-in sprayer, and I realized that all that's happening is there's a smaller pipe inside here, not a smaller pipe, like a narrowing of this fitting, and then it goes wider, creating a low pressure area like a vacuum inside there, and then that allows this pipe, which is lying in that liquid right there, to suck whatever's there out with the water at the same time. How good. Check the water turning brown from all that humic acid, but also wetting agent. How good, guys. How good. And I've got a shutter valve there as well. You can already see the soapiness of whatever I'm spraying out. Look, it's far from perfect, but I tell you what, I just literally need a nozzle for this thing, and then it's really quite something, I tell you what. And then I can leave my tanks there up to the distance of this small thinner pipe without worrying too much. You know, the other one really just put out the liquid too slow, so I needed something with a little bit more liters per minute. yeah, so that is awesome. I flippin' love that thing. I suppose it's very similar to spraying it out with a knapsack sprayer, but it's just putting out a lot of water with that. Just water it in immediately, so nothing really dries up. But whichever method you do it with, it's awesome. Adding like a form of wetting agent to your lawn now, great idea. I'm also going to do it on the Kikuyu lawn, to all my lawns actually, to help retain water. It's not that expensive product really. I get that product from Grasses and Greens in Edenvale. Contact Sharon, she's also on Lawn Care Nuts South Africa. Quite easily to get. I'll put the number again on the screen or something. But that product works so well. I've never been so chuffed with that, with the product. She knows a lot, got a lot of information regarding stuff. Any questions, just shoot it through to her. She's normally more than willing to help out with any lawn queries. If you're unsure of anything, please contact me. The quickest way I respond is through Instagram. Send me a direct message on South African Lawn on Instagram and I'll quickly reply there. But yep, that's how I do it. It would be awesome if I can get that thing hooked up to my irrigation system, and putting out a form of wetting agent every second or third time while I'm irrigating would save me tons of time. Just chucking the chemicals or the liquids into, I don't know, try and figure it out. That's just a dream. That'll be awesome. But yeah, I think that's wetting agent for you right there. Guys, I'm going to quickly try and illustrate to you what hydrophobic is. I'm here in my mountain where there's the lawn and everything here in the berg. And I'm going to try and see if I can get some good response. I'm throwing some water there. Check how everything runs away. I mean, I literally like flushed probably a liter of water and still like bone dry there. So that's a problem. And also a lot of the times the biggest issue is actually with keeping the moisture there, because if it struggles to go in, it struggles to cling onto the soil, then it also evaporates quicker. So that's the whole point behind retaining moisture in your soil. Happy? I'm going to chuck some wetting agent in it now and see if it makes any difference. Check there, I've just chucked about 3-4 liters of water and still it doesn't go into the soil. It really struggles. And some of the parts there was flooded and still dry. Look here, bone dry. So I'm going to add wetting agent to my last liter of water there, and we're going to see if there's any difference. Here's also a bit of a, still there's some water lying there. Here's a bit of a, okay, that's a bit of a concentrate there. But just look how quickly the water actually seeps into the soil, breaking all that surface tension, and then going in there. Just look on the top there. I don't know if the camera showed it now, sorry, I was looking at the actual soil there. And then once it's treated, I tell you what, for a couple of times after irrigating, it's so much better. And also I bet you this part right here where I'm pointing with my thing now is going to be moist for longer than this area right here where I actually threw a lot more water. Guys, so thank you for dealing with the wind. That's going to wrap up this video. I hope you found it interesting, and maybe you've learned something. If you are struggling with keeping your lawn moist, or you want to save on water, this is a great idea for you to save water. Maybe consider getting a product like that to help you through these tough times. By November or December, when we start to get a lot of rain, it's really going to take some ease off on that period. But for now, we're going to struggle to keep our lawns moist and wet, keep them healthy and happy. Yeah, so that's it from my side. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, maybe consider doing that. Also like this video, it'll help me out a lot, and then I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.